In 2020, New Balance made a comeback in the sneaker world with the 327 and its collaboration with Casablanca. In 2021, they knocked on Adidas's door with their surprising New Balance 550. And in 2024, New Balance could dominate the sneaker market and crush Nike. And to explain why this is possible, we're going to talk about the brand's model that could become the sneaker that everyone will be snapping up in the near future, whether as a collab or a general release, the New Balance 2002R. Today we conclude our mini-series on New Balance with the model that you'll see is going to change everything in the sneaker world. New Balance was destined to return to the limelight sooner or later, as they always predicted the future with their models. In the 80s and 90s, brands released a huge number of different models to see what worked and what didn't. And New Balance was no exception, since they experimented a lot, even more than the others, with new silhouettes appearing almost every month, if not every week. And of course, with so many models come a few successes and many flops. But that's precisely its strength in the modern days and what will make it an inexhaustible brand in the future. Indeed, while the 2002R may appear to be a brand new sneaker given its shape, this is not the case at all. Because like the 327, it's an evolution of an existing shoe, and like the 550, it's a reissue. By combining these two factors, the 2002R can appeal to all age groups, and that's its strength. So why didn't it work when its first edition was released in 2010? A question of era, yes, but also a question of style and marketing, and we'll see why. In 2010, New Balance released the 2002, which they considered the ultimate dad shoe. It was clearly a luxury shoe that they wanted to release, and it would only reach a tiny fraction of the population. With gray suede on the upper and gel throughout the sole, it was clearly, according to the designers, the best New Balance sneaker ever made in terms of design, but also in terms of comfort. Nothing could compete with such a shoe. Even Ronnie Fieg, the founder of the brand Kith, confirmed this in his blog in 2010. New Balance sent me this new pair, and it's a 10 out of 10 for me. Not only is it my favorite color, but moreover, it has the same suspension system as most cars. These are by far the most comfortable shoes I've ever rocked. But then, why was it a flop? There's only one reason: the price. The pair cost $250, and while 2010 may not seem that long ago, it was very expensive back then. Even the designer said it. Who's going to pay that much for a pair of shoes? He also added that there was so much technology inside that they had no choice. The price equals quality. But there was so little demand for the pair that it didn't even end up on the shelves. They were only available to order in catalogs or on the internet. It was an exceptional piece that from the outset was not intended for the general public. But the risk, and they knew it, was that even those for whom the shoe was intended, those who could afford it, wouldn't want to buy it. And that's exactly what happened. Nobody wanted it. Sure, it was intriguing, and it proved how much of a boss you were, but it was far from automatic for these people to buy this shoe, especially in view of its poor marketing and its poor exposure. And the strange thing is, they should have known better, especially after seeing the designs and inspirations of those who created it. In reality, this pair wasn't for bosses or the rich, but for the ultra-rich, a percentage of the population so tiny they can be counted. Among the inspirations, we discovered that the designers originally wanted to create a sneaker exclusively for their boss, the CEO of New Balance. We also discovered that they were inspired by Bentley and Hublot luxury watches. Absolutely everything about this shoe was about luxury, so how could they speak to the normal population or even young entrepreneurs? And so the 2002 faded into oblivion, and only a country as creative as Japan could resurrect it. What you don't know is that among your colleagues at work are often hidden geniuses, and that's the case for the Japanese New Balance employee Tetsuya Shono. Now product manager and formerly designer, he knows absolutely everything about every New Balance model. And an interesting fact is that the 2002 sold much better in Japan than in the West, so he wanted to resurrect it. But the sole of this shoe was no longer available, so he grabbed one from the 860 V2, a model released in 2019. And it's not so bad since the technology of this sole is much better than the old one. The shoe has gel only in the heel instead of the whole sole, which gives better cushioning, greater comfort, and more lightness. Also, the shape of the 2002R is more elegant than the original. Finally, the price is just $130. That's half the price of the old model, for far superior technology and aesthetics. This new model makes you totally forget the old one. But that brings us back to our first question of the video. Why can this model crush Nike's dominance? What's so special about it? Well, like the New Balance 327 and the 550, it will have a specificity that New Balance lacked to become hype, beautiful, and prestigious collaborations. And it's with Salehe Bembury that they're going to create, for me, some of the most amazing collaborations in the history of sneakers. The incredible New Balance piece be the journey, and the water be the guide. First of all, Salehe Bembury isn't just anyone. He's Versace's former footwear designer, so the collab had some value from the start. But look at these two beauties. They're not sneakers, they're works of art. art. The piece Be the Journey is inspired by the designer's passion for hiking, national parks, and above all the Antelope Canyon in the Arizona desert. As for the Water Be the Guide, it was inspired by Havasu Falls, also in Arizona. Their resale prices, which did ×5 for the first pair and ×3 for the second, bear witness to their success. These two pairs totally launched the 2002 R hype. We can also mention the 2002 R Bape, or the collaboration with J. Crew. But recently another collection was released, and for me that's what's going to make this model explode. In 2021, the Protection Pack was released. 3 different colorways, including the Rain Cloud, the Sea Salt, and the Phantom. The concept is crazy. They have the traditional New Balance suede look, except that pieces and layers of upper are removed. This is in reality to show that New Balance shoes are the strongest even when totally destroyed. Designed by Yue Wu, this pair aroused enormous interest from its first visuals, and the price skyrocketed over the months as everyone wanted them so badly. And the crazy thing about this pair's designer is that it's nobody. Yes, this pair is not a collaboration, and Yue Wu is a simple New Balance employee. Still, he's a genius for that reason alone. And if you're familiar with the sneaker world, you'll understand that what I've just revealed is crazy. Because when Nike releases new colorways, they certainly get a bit of hype. But if there's no collaboration with Travis Scott, Fragment, or A Ma Maniére, the pair isn't worth much in most cases, especially these days. With the Protection Pack, we've rarely seen anything like it. We're talking about a general release worth as much on the resale market as the Salehe Bembury piece Be the Journey. It's absolutely insane. Once again, what I'm telling you isn't trivial. It heralds a huge change in the sneaker world, which would say that the visual and futuristic aspect can take over the hype of collabs. And that's crazy. Asics is also trying to do this with its Gel Light 3, and Adidas with its NMD S1. But the one who's succeeded so far is New Balance, and some people must be thinking that's not true. For them, Nike will continue to be the best even if they continue what they're doing. And I totally disagree with that. Just look at the Air Jordan 1 Dark Marina Blue that was released not so long ago. The pair is clearly an Air Jordan 1 Royal Blue Reverse, one of the most legendary Air Jordan 1 colors ever. It's almost Spike Lee's pair. It's crazy stuff, and the pair totally flopped. Even the Dunks, which used to be resold 2 or 3 times their retail price, do not sell anymore because of the number of colorways releasing every month. In addition to that, there aren't that many 2002R colorways releasing, so the hype will remain and everybody will want it, just like in the days of the Yeezy 750 and 350. Anyway, this is all speculation, we can all make mistakes, but for me, there's no doubt about this year. Brands better be following, because it's been a long time since I've seen so much excitement around a brand. New Balance still has a long way to go, and for me, it's only just begun.